Hello everybody, thanks for joining this episode of Sam's Device Advice. Today we're going to be looking at different scanning apps that you can use on your phone. I do have a video about this in the past, but that was more on the teacher's end. So today we're going to look at some options for students or even for yourself just on the go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I have a screen recording of my phone here, and we're just going to watch along, and I'm going to explain the apps that I'm using and the kind of steps to go through them. So the first app we're going to look at is called Snapverter. Now, many school boards have been using the Google Suite for education, and with that, they're often using Read and Write as an assistive technology. The same company who makes Read and Write also make this program Snapverter. So chances are, if your school has Read and Write, you also have a license for this program. So I'd look into this. Now, Snapverter does work on Google Drive as its own separate thing, but they've created an app that works really well on your cell phone. So let's take a look at what this does. I'm just going to play this video here of me using my phone. So Snapverter is, like I said, it does require a license. So when you open up the app, you can see that there is a large plus button at the bottom. That's going to let us create a new snap. But I'm going to show you the settings real quick. Just so you know that you can go in, change the voice settings. You can change the vocalizer, you can change the rate, pitch, volume, and then you can test it out right on the screen there. So it's pretty handy. So I'm going to hit the big plus button, and it's going to give me the option to quick capture, so I can use my camera and just scan something in front of me. But if I have a file or something in my camera roll, I can actually scan it already. So I'm just going to show you how to use the camera. So I'm lining it up, trying to scan this book. And what it's going to do is it's going to actually scan it all for me, and it's going to let me read this out loud right away. So I'm going to use that touch to speak button on the bottom left, and then I'm going to tap somewhere on the page, and it's going to start reading for us.
This is a book about the world and how it really is.
So it's really handy. So within seconds, myself or a student could scan a document and have it read back to them. And you can even pop in a headphone if you need to do this on the fly and if you don't need anyone around you to know. So it's a really quick and discreet way to scan the world around you. Once again, you can turn on your voice settings right from the scan if you needed to. And then by clicking the check mark, I can actually save this as a PDF, and I'm going to save it right to my Google Drive. So it's really handy that I could have this as if this was a textbook, if this was like a worksheet that my teacher had sent me, I can scan it, I can upload it to my Google Drive, and I can start working on it from there, or just keep it for myself for later. The cool thing about this too is that it will actually do OCR, so we'll scan for that text as the PDF. So this is just going through the steps of how to upload this on an iPhone. You can do very similar things on the Android app as well. I'm just using my iPhone today to show this. And then what was also kind of nice is that you do have the option to add additional pages to your original scans. So if there's multiple pages in the book that you want to scan, you could do that here as well. All right, so the next one I want to look at is Google Keep. So Google Keep is a great app. I use it all the time just to keep my life organized. And it's a really convenient way to keep all of your information in sync, because every device that you log into, you're going to have your notifications there and all of your notes. So at first, just to create a note, you just click on that plus button on the bottom, and you can start typing in here. But instead, what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at using the picture button. So on the bottom, the far right button looks like a photo. If I tap that, it's going to give me the option to choose a photo or to take a new one. So we're going to click on Take a Photo. It's going to turn on my camera, and I'm going to use the same book. And again, I'm going to snap a picture of this book. I'm going to say Use Picture. Now you can see on the bottom right, it has those arrows in a circle. That's telling me that it's searching, or it's trying to connect to Google's servers. By doing that, it's then scanning the book for us, just like we saw Snapverter do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top right. I'm going to tap those three dots, and I'm going to press the button that says Grab Image Text. Now, this is a little different because as you can see, it's actually taken that text and it's put it right into a note for me. So here I could highlight, cut and copy, I could edit this text if I needed to, but I could also have it read back to me. Now, the iPhone actually has a really handy tool built in for accessibility. So I'm going to show you how to turn that on here. So first we have to go into our settings app. We have to scroll down until we see accessibility. And then we're going to tap that. And then we're going to look at spoken content. When I tap spoken content, the option I want to turn on is speak selection. What this lets you do is when I press and hold on top of text, it'll give me a button to have that read out loud. Again, you can change the voices, the language. I can change the speaking rate if I need to. So now I'm going to go back to my Google Keep note, and I'm going to press and hold on some text. I'm going to try again. And then you can see that I have the option, if I press that right button there, here we go, I have the option to speak.
Factfulness. Hans Rosling tells the story of the secret silent miracle of human progress is only...
So you can control the speak speed again, but you can pause it as you go. But it's kind of nice now I can press and hold on text and have it read out loud for me. And that works for any selectable text. It doesn't have to be in a note like this. That option works for websites as well. Okay, so let's. This is just showing you what it looks like after I'm done with the note. So the last app we're going to look at today is Adobe Scan. So the one thing you might have noticed with Keep is that it doesn't really hold on to the formatting of the page. So if there's a lot of detail on the page, especially if there's columns and charts and graphs, Keep isn't going to be your best option. Adobe Scan is really good for this though. So again, I'm just going to make sure that my spoken content option is turned on. So I'm going accessibility. I'm going to tap spoken content and I see, okay, my speak selection is on. So I'm ready to demo this. So we're going to open up Adobe Scan. And again, I'm using the same Factfulness book. You can see that Adobe Scan is actually going to automatically find the edges for me and take a picture. Here I could decide if I need to drag the edges around to crop it. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to quickly just tap on select text. So what that's going to let me do is it's going to highlight all the text for me. I can click copy text, and again, I can now go and paste that into a note, into a Google Keep, whatever I want to do. So anywhere I can create a new note here, I'm going to press and hold on my screen again. I'm going to tap paste, and now you can see I have all that text available. So very similar to what we could do in Google Keep. And then again, I'm going to press and hold, and I'm going to select my text, and I'm going to tap speak.
Hans Rosling.
So I can hear all that if I needed to. But if I go back to Adobe Scan, you can say I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to tap on the image on the bottom right. I could have added additional pages if I needed to, but in this case I was happy with the one. So I'm going to rename this one real quick. So I'm just going to call this test if I can figure out how to spell that correctly. Perfect. And now I'm going to tap save as PDF or save PDF at the top right. So you can see it's now going to upload that for me. I can tap on it and open it back up. Now, it's frustratingly, in Adobe Scan, you're going to see I'm going to highlight this text, but it only gives you the option to copy. Even though I've turned on Speak Selected, it doesn't give us that option here. So on the fly, this might not be the best one to scan text for yourself. But this way, what I'm going to do is, this is the best way to get the PDF looking like a full page and upload it to my Google Drive or your OneDrive, wherever you want to put it. So in this case, you can see I've tapped the upload button and I'm going to tap share a copy. And now I'm going to choose my Google Drive again. I'm going to upload it to the account that I want. I'm going to select the folder that I want it to go into. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to tap upload. Now, again, I'm going to have a perfectly scanned PDF that I could use a screen reader on, and it's ready to go. So that is our look at our scanning apps today. Hopefully this was useful. I find using these apps is very handy, and I try to show a lot of my students how to use these as well, because I'm trying to build that independence and making sure that they can scan the world around them, and they don't always need that assistance. Again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you leave a comment or subscribe. And if you have any questions, you can always email sam@samgoving.com. Thank you very much, everybody.